Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the architectural blueprint for deploying LLMs and agentic AIs safely. Look, if you're involved in integrating AI into your enterprise, you already know the drill. Security and governance, they can't just be an afterthought anymore. It's not a secondary consideration. We're essentially building the future here. And just like throwing up a massive skyscraper, you've got to have a rock-solid foundation. So we're going to explore exactly how to lay that groundwork, ensuring your AI initiatives don't just innovate, but actually stay secure and responsible from the ground up.
Here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start by looking at the expanding attack surface, then compare traditional versus modern security. After that, we'll hit the 6 pillars of governance, talk about aligning with global standards, highlight some essential AI focus areas, and finally, wrap it all up with building trustworthy AI. Let's get into it. Section 1. The expanding attack surface. Let's look at the new AI risks we're dealing with. Are your AI agents overprivileged? Seriously, this is the absolute most urgent question every enterprise architect and CISO needs to be answering right now. Why? Because AI systems are becoming deeply embedded into our critical business operations. Just think about it for a second. As we make this huge shift toward agentic AI, systems that don't just chat but actually take autonomous actions on our behalf, we have to stop and ask ourselves, just how much power are we handing over here? If an AI agent has the keys to the castle, like the ability to delete client records or execute financial transactions without any human approval, well, it's overprivileged. And that is a massive structural vulnerability.
Now, don't get me wrong, the opportunities here are incredible, but we have to be real and acknowledge that deploying these autonomous decision-making systems, it is fundamentally expanding our risk profile. Our source material points out something crucial. Deep embedding of AI creates unprecedented opportunities, but it also introduces entirely new categories of enterprise risk. AI is now integrating into our daily decision-making, customer interactions, and core business operations. This deep embedding means the tech isn't just safely quarantined in some IT lab anymore. Nope. It's out there in the wild, making live business decisions, bringing entirely new categories of risk right to our front door. So, what kind of risks are we talking about? Well, we aren't just dealing with someone trying to guess a password anymore. We're facing prompt injection, where malicious inputs literally trick the AI into ignoring all its safety training. We're dealing with hallucinations, where the model confidently just invents incorrect facts. And, of course, those overprivileged agents we just talked about, right alongside outright model misuse. Because of these unique factors, the attack surface we have to defend is expanding incredibly fast. It's a whole new ballgame. Moving right along to Section 2, traditional versus modern security, it's time for a major paradigm shift. Now, there is a stark difference we need to talk about. Our old perimeter defenses, they simply can't govern intelligent agents that are operating dynamically across our enterprise environments. Think about how traditional security models worked. They focused heavily on building a high, thick brick wall around the network. But AI systems today? They operate across cloud platforms, SaaS apps, and enterprise networks all at the exact same time. They're autonomous. So a high brick wall doesn't do you much good when the intelligent agent is already inside the network making active decisions, right? We absolutely have to pivot to modern AI security frameworks specifically designed for the continuous governance of these intelligent embedded workflows. That brings us to Section 3, the 6 pillars of governance. This is our core framework. To get this right, establishing acceptable usage, finding the risks, and putting up that initial protective framing is phase 1. Let's break down the first 3 pillars. Pillar 1 is governance. This is your rulebook where you define policies and accountability. Pillar 2 is risk identification. And this doesn't mean just casually checking boxes. You are continuously assessing the models, the prompts, and your data. Then we have Pillar 3, protection. This is where you put up your actual digital guardrails to ensure data privacy and set firm access limits and safeguards. Okay, so then we operationalize the life cycle with the second phase. This is about treating security not as some static one-time checklist, but as a continuous loop. Pillar 4 is monitoring. You've got to watch these systems in real time, detecting anomalies or model drift, when an AI's behavior just unexpectedly changes over time. Pillar 5 is audit and assurance. You have to maintain rock-solid evidence and traceability. And finally, Pillar 6, continuous improvement. You must regularly reassess your controls and actively certify your AI systems. Why? Because you have to keep pace with how incredibly fast this technology evolves. Section 4, aligning with global standards, ensuring compliance alignment. Now, I know looking at a list of acronyms like ISO/IEC 42001, NIST AI RMF, OWASP, the EU AI Act, it can feel like a lot of bureaucratic hurdles. But let me be clear. Ignoring these can lead to massive fines or, honestly, devastating brand destruction. These standards span everything from risk management and application security to legislative compliance. We've got ISO frameworks for formal management, the NIST benchmark, which is essentially the gold standard in our industry, and the OWASP Top 10 specifically tuned for LLMs. And of course, massive legislative guardrails like the EU AI Act. Aligning with these, it isn't optional for serious enterprises anymore. It's the literal blueprint for legitimacy.
Because ultimately, what's the real goal here? It's not just avoiding a fine. Compliance is just the baseline. Trustworthy AI is the actual target. A truly trustworthy AI system goes way beyond mere compliance. It's a system built to be secure against sophisticated attacks, entirely transparent in how it makes its decisions, incredibly reliable in its outputs, and strictly accountable to human oversight.
All right, Section 5, Essential AI Focus Areas. Consider this your operational checklist.
If you're designing an AI system today, you need to draw a big circle around all of these specific areas. You've got to lock down data governance and privacy so sensitive information never ever leaks into a public model. You need robust prompt and input security to block those malicious injections we talked about. You absolutely must establish strict AI agent governance and action boundaries, dictating exactly what an agent can and cannot do on its own. Add to that tight model security and observability, strict access control and identity governance, and crucially, human-in-the-loop oversight and auditability. You really want to make sure an algorithm is never making the final, irreversible call.
Finally, Section 6, Building Trustworthy AI. How we actually succeed with AI.
The organizations that are going to win this race, they will be the ones that operationalize governance early. They aren't going to just bolt security on at the end as an afterthought. They're going to embed it directly into their AI lifecycle, making it the very foundation of their innovation. Think about it like this. If you build a massive skyscraper and then decide later, oh, hey, I want to add steel reinforcements to the foundation, you are going to have a really bad time. The exact same goes for AI. Security, accountability, and trust, they have to be baked in from day one.
Govern it, certify it, trust it. This powerful little quote from our source material absolutely nails the entire philosophy of modern AI deployment. It's a precise 3-step progression. You can't just blindly trust a system. You have to govern its parameters first. Then you certify it against those global standards we looked at. And only then, after all that work, can you finally trust it to operate securely at an enterprise scale.
So here's a question I want to leave you with as you review your own AI roadmaps following this explainer. Is your organization building AI on a foundation of trust, or is it a house of cards? Are you actually implementing those 6 pillars of governance? Are you establishing firm boundaries for your AI agents, or are you simply deploying the tech as fast as possible and just hoping for the best? Because let's be honest, innovation without security is literally just a vulnerability waiting to happen. Build it secure, build it responsible, and build it on a solid foundation of trust. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.